This thing moves, bro. 30 already? Holy shit.
Yeah, you already know. I literally just bought this thing.
This is actually insane. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Alright, what's going on, you guys? Welcome back to another video. And today was going to be the most last minute thing that I'm going to be doing. Because I saw this bike online for $700 and it's supposedly a $1,700 e-bike, but he's selling it for $700 because there's something wrong with it. There's just an error code, it's not properly working, but it's like new. So I was thinking, and maybe if I happen to actually get this thing and fix it and not really spending as much as the retail price, this might be one of the biggest steals I'll ever have on this channel. But we have to go to Kansas City, so this is going to be like a 3-hour drive, so it's going to be one hell of a journey, and obviously this is my only day off, but we're going to be checking out this e-bike. Hopefully there's nothing too bad wrong with it, but this could be one of the biggest flips. I'm going to try to get it for less. I'm going to try to get it for $600 because I don't have that much right now. If you guys saw from my last bike life video, I just now saving up for trying to get a bike, and this just happened to be really, really early, and if I happen to pull this off, this might actually be worth it in the long run. I might be able to flip it, but we don't know that. But we're going to check out the bike. But first, we have to go to Kansas City, and if we don't get the bike, I mean, worst case scenario, I just don't take it with me, and we just enjoy our time in Kansas City, but we'll never know. But this is going to be one hell of an adventure, but I hope you guys enjoy the video. So, that is the piece of machinery we're going to try to fit in this thing. It's kind of big, I'm not going to lie. We're going to have to take it apart only because that's pretty much the only way it's going to fit. I mean, if you look in the trunk space, there's not much that's going to fit in there. Worst case scenario, I have to put the passenger seat down. But honestly, guys, this is the piece of machinery we're going to be getting today. And guys, it literally looks brand new, but we have to figure this thing out. And if we do figure it out, it's going to be a miracle, and this might just make history. Yeah, you already know. I literally just bought this thing. I'm not going to lie to you guys, this is probably like one of the biggest steals I'm probably ever going to have on this thing. But this is the bike I got. Now, there's a couple things I got to discuss about this because there's stuff that I have to work on this bike, and there's also stuff that I want to do on this bike. So I will get to that in just a minute. Alright, so let's talk about the price on this thing that I just got. So this is the Riding Times GT73. This is a $1,800 e-bike. And I happened to buy this thing for only $600. Now, why is it $600, you're probably wondering? I probably mentioned it before, but there's something wrong with it. It's shooting up an error code. And I actually found the issue the same day I brought it back. Now, I'm going to pull up some pictures on here because I don't really want to physically show you guys, but I literally got pictures of it. So, basically what happened is there was something wrong with the motor, and they ordered a whole nother one, and they tried to put on that one, but while they were installing that one and replacing it, they happened to puncture the wire, the cable that actually connects to the motor. That's literally right next to the wheel, and so it pretty much exposed all these little wires that's inside that cable.
So it's pretty much exposed. Literally water can get in there and pretty much mess it up, and that's kind of maybe what happened. Otherwise it probably cut a couple wires and it just doesn't really want to run. Basically what all I have to do is just get a whole nother motor for this thing, and this thing is pretty much good to go. And they, like I said, they only put like 20 miles on this thing, so this thing is practically brand new. But as soon as we can get that fixed up, now we're going to get into what I want to do with this bike. So honestly, there's kind of not much I want to do with this thing other than get a chance to ride it the way it's supposed to, honestly. But there's a couple things that I kind of want to deck out and kind of personalize it more. I think the most recent idea I had was gold trimming this thing. I think black and gold honestly goes really well with this bike, and I want to see if I can make that work. So what I kind of planning on doing is, I obviously got to get some mirrors. I need to get a bike lock. I need to get a handful of safety stuff that can keep this from being stolen, even though like it requires a key card to even use this thing. But I need a bike lock. I need a handful of bike locks actually. I need more than one. I'm gonna get another bike alarm, get a tracker, everything that you basically need for just security reasons. But on top of that, I want to get some mirrors for this thing because obviously I need to see. I'm gonna get some turn signals on this thing. This thing only has rear turn signals, so I'm gonna get some front ones for that I could attach to the forks. But like I said, black and gold, I'm going to try to shoot for that kind of appearance. I think black and gold really what looks well for this thing. But yeah, not much. And honestly, power-wise, I can go to a higher voltage, get upgraded battery, all this fun stuff. But I'm kind of not worried about that. I'm honestly okay with going 37 on this thing. I don't think I need to go any faster unless I wanted to start passing traffic or maybe get some more range out of this thing. But there's not much I can really ask for. This thing has already exceeded my expectations of how cool this fucking thing is, and the fact that I'm planning on making this even more cool. But that's kind of the gist of what this bike already is already appreciated. Oh my god. Dude. And today we have stuff for the bike. Now, I don't know how to explain this, but I haven't got the motor yet. And as you could tell, I got the motor out, so I kind of know how to take it off. But for some reason, all the stuff that I want to do with the bike and customize it came before the motor. And note that I literally in my last video I told you guys that I already ordered the bike motor, and it still hasn't came in yet, and I'm mega upset. But that's actually part of the customization stuff for the bike. So we're gonna put this thing together real quick and then we'll get into that. Alright, what do we have? We have... Oh, look at that, dude. We got the mirrors. Epic. We love that. Oh my god, the gold trim, guys. The gold trim came in. And we got some underglow for the bike. Didn't think you guys saw that coming. And then we got the bike alarm. So that's the first set of the stuff that we got. Alright guys, this is day 2 and we got more stuff in the mail. Now, we pretty much got the bike together. And this is 2 out of 3
parts to the bike. So yeah, let's open the thing up, bro. So let's go. So what we got? Carbon fiber front plate for the front right under the headlight. So that's gonna be the first thing we got. Get ourselves another bike lock. This one's the chain lock now. And I already ordered the U-shape lock. So we have two different bike locks because, you know, security reasons. Oh yeah, okay. Oh yeah, I forgot about this. Oh, and it is carbon textured, okay. That's awesome, dude. And the last thing on this part, we have handle guards, hand guards. And they're, if you look closely, they're actually carbon fiber texture as well. So it looks like we're going more of a carbon fiber theme. I honestly didn't know they were going to be carbon fiber texture. I thought they were just going to be black, but we actually got more carbon fiber. So I think that's pretty cool. Now, since I'm still waiting for the third part of the parts to customize this bike, I'm just going to go ahead and start putting some of this stuff on here, and we'll see what it looks like so far. More stuff. Part 3 of the parts for this thing. There's also something that I forgot to order, but I don't think I need it at the moment. It's not really required, but I forgot to order turn signals, so maybe in the future I might get that. I just don't think it's kind of necessary right now because it's not illegal to not have front and rear turn signals in Kansas, so we're not going to order those yet. But we got more stuff in the mail, so we're going to open that. Alright, so I decided to order another set of mirrors because obviously from the previous unboxing we had, I got mirrors, but I didn't get the mount for it because I don't know, they just didn't ship it with. So I actually have mounts now, and we're going to try to fit the mirrors on the bike now. So there's that. That's a long boy. Now, I've already said this before, but it feels like we're going with more carbon look because this is going to be the front fender for the bike, and it is yet more carbon fiber. Alright, so those are the pretty much one of the last pieces that I'm going to order for this thing, aside from the turn signals and maybe a couple other little stuff. Now,
there is something I also have to discuss before we get into finishing up the looks on this bike, and that is the motor. And I just got some updates on the motor yesterday, and I will explain that in a minute.
Okay, so I explained that the motor hasn't came in, and I've been waiting for already over a week and about 2 weeks now. And I just got updates that they are actually out of stock, which makes no sense because when I ordered it, it was in stock. It never said it was out of stock at all. And so when I ordered it, it turns out that they have just never shipped it at all. And I got a notification saying that my order was, or my payment was canceled, which makes no sense because I was like, I ordered this like over a week ago, and they're just now telling me that they're out of stock until next week. And so I was just confused. Now, what doesn't make sense to me is how would you have something that's supposedly in stock is out of stock when I've ordered it almost 2 weeks ago. So I had to make an executive decision, and I'm just going to upgrade the motor because since I got my money back for that motor, I might as well just save up for an upgraded motor and just getting the upgrade on this thing just done and over with so I don't have to worry about it anymore. And obviously that is a $1,000 motor kit, but not to mention that I still need to get a battery that that works with the upgraded motor, which is another $1,000. So I'm not going to be able to get a battery anytime soon. That's current update on the motor. I'm not going to get a whole nother replacement motor because I've also heard that the motor on this thing isn't very reliable, obviously, because the people that had the bike before I did had problems with the motor. And not to mention that this is literally an e-bike on a E-Moto frame. It looks like a dirt bike, but it doesn't perform like it because it doesn't have enough torque, it doesn't have enough power, even though it can go 37. I might as well just upgrade this thing to where it can perform like an E-Moto and basically be a Wish.com Surron, which is probably where we're gonna do anyways. So I went ahead, got a new motor. I'm waiting yet another week for that motor to come in, but it's coming in for sure, and I've made sure I got the specs right on this thing, and that's the current update. And I'm gonna go ahead and put the rest of the stuff on this bike, and it's gonna look pretty. Alright, so this is what the bike looks like now. There's still a couple stickers I want to add to this thing, and a couple of things that still want to order for this thing, but so far this thing is looking freaking amazing, dude. Alright, so you guys obviously saw the motor and the controller and all this cool stuff. Problem is, no bike shop pretty much in Kansas can even do conversion kits for a bike. At least with what my situation is. So I might have to actually just figure this out myself and putting it on there by myself because no one can really do it. So like we're about to just do this all ourselves, and guys, if this actually works, I might just be certified bike mechanic. But literally, I'm looking at all the parts that's in that box, and then I look at the bike, and I don't even know what I'm going to be doing half of the time. So now the one thing that I've noticed about this motor is that you can actually tune it through an app, and
you can adjust, you know, all this amps and all this interesting stuff that I don't even really know about, but you can detune it, the controller, to whatever battery is connected to it. This is going to be it. And worst case scenario, I don't know. This is just got to be an all in or nothing, because I just spent a lot of money for this bike so far for this past month, and guys, it would be a miracle if I got this thing running within the next few days. But here comes the journey of building this thing, and hopefully it runs by the end of this video. So there's the wheel. You got the freaking dual sport tires or something like that. So the old controller used to sit right there, but since the controller is too beefy, I kind of just threw it under the frame, which is actually pretty good. I mean, look at the wire management. I kind of got it kind of slipped through right here. Everything will connect right here, and so forth. I had to take off literally everything. So I took off the battery mounts, I took off the display, I put the new display on there, and this is the new throttle with the key. And then you got the little buttons. And this is still a work in progress. It's I kind of cleaned up what used to be a mess here. But honestly, guys, the only thing I'm kind of concerned about, trying to fit that in there, because what I've noticed is the brakes is on the same side as the motor, and there's not much room to work with. And what used to be the motor cable being on the right side where the opposite side of the brakes is, it's just all on one side, and that kind of just messes everything up. So I'm not sure how I'm gonna fit this wheel on there, but I will tell you the difference between the width is a little interesting. But we're gonna pray that we're gonna be able to get the wheel on there. I'm gonna have to figure out how to manage this cable without messing it up and having to route it into the frame. But yeah, we'll wait for another day on that. Alright, so I came to a dilemma on putting this on. Like, obviously it looks like it fits, right? Also looks weird with different tires. But so the one thing I noticed that the difference between this motor and this is the motor cable literally comes on the same side as the chain gear. As you can tell on this motor, that does not exist. The motor cable's on this side, on the same side as the brakes. And I noticed that when I put the wheel in, the brakes does not line up with the rotor because it's simply not far in enough. So what that means is I need to somehow shift this over just maybe like half an inch to where the brake pads is going to line up with the rotors. And it honestly, looking at it at the same time, the motor cable is like very like close to like being rubbed against the brake rotor, which is not a good thing because you're also bending this little area right here, which is literally the same where the same problem came in when the people before me tried to replace the motor and pinched the cable right there, literally in the same area. So I'm trying not to recreate that, but at the same time there's like no breathing room on where the wire is gonna go, and rotating this isn't really gonna work because it's literally fitting in this little slot right here, and it can't really go anywhere else. But I'm gonna try to figure this out, but this is really difficult for me. Alright guys, so this is the current situation we're currently at. There's a couple of things that I've done to this bike, and I know this video is probably not going to be that exciting, but what's going to be exciting is when the battery finally comes in on this thing. So far, I've got the motor in, and we've got the brake rotor and the brake pads finally aligned. The only problem is it's kind of just tapping a little bit with the motor wheel, which is not really a problem. The wheel still kind of spins freely. I've added my own Instagram plug. Check it out. You got my favorite moto vlogger of all time and his Mini Moto Squad logo on there. Now, obviously, if you guys haven't noticed yet, I did put the gold diamond decal on there, and then I just slapped the Mini Moto Squad logo on there. So I think in terms of the looks and all the stickers, I think this looks pretty fine. So with the wires, the cord from the motor is connected all the way to the controller, and the controller is obviously hiding under here because it doesn't fit on top where the old controller goes. And I got pretty much all my wires figured out here. Got the alarm, and everything's pretty much going to be connected under here. And then what I plan on doing is having a little shield within this pretty much area of the bike on both sides where I can protect it from water. I still need to figure that out, but before I even think about putting a shield of some sort there, I need to get the battery and figure out where I'm going to put it, and then from there I will pretty much finish covering this mess of cords up. But obviously this is the one thing that's probably going to connect to the battery. So far it's looking great. The one thing I did notice is that I didn't switch out the brakes because I do not know how to do that, and I figured since the brakes are already fully functional and they're both going to be fully functional anyways, I'm just going to leave the brake levers be, even though there's going to be like loose cables, which I'm probably going to end up tying at some point. But if I need to swap out the brakes, then we'll try to figure that out from there. But all I know is both brakes are working. This is going to be about ready, and I can't wait to test it out and tune this thing up, make sure everything is working perfectly fine, and make sure nothing is getting glitched out or anything. Like I said, I'm trying to make this fully functional, and like I said, I'm dropping $2,000 on this bike, and this is going to be basically your knockoff Surron, but it's not going to be as fast as Surron because it's only going to have 5,000 watts of power, which for a Surron would be like 10,000, but I mean, it's not too bad. It might perform like maybe like a Honda Grom or something like that. But that is the current situation with the bike, and yeah, everything is lining up just fine. I fixed all the little problems. The wheels, like I said, the wheel fits. Everything fits just fine. Obviously, there's had to be a little bit of adjustments because something just doesn't line up and it pisses me off. But you know, we made it work. We got the tools and the right stuff just to make everything fit. Now we just have to wait for that battery. Once that battery comes in, we can finally turn this thing on and sort all the stuff out, and then finish this build pretty much. Yes, dude. It finally came in. It's been a whole month since I've ordered this thing, guys. Oh my god. You have no idea how long I've waited for this entire moment. 40 amp hours. 60 volts. This is gonna be fucking insane, dude. This thing's heavy, bro. Jesus. Oh my god. This thing is fucking heavy, bro. What the actual hell?
So the good thing about a battery like this is it comes with a protective bag, which is good because we need that. But at the same time, got the whole battery inside. Now obviously this looks pretty massive, but this actually fits inside the frame of my bike. So that's why I had to get something like this. There's not really any other battery that would honestly fit in my frame, but this is probably the best one that's gonna fit. Alright, so we got the bike here. Got my battery inside the backpack. It is already way too hot out here. It just, there's barely a breeze, and it's like already almost, it's already past the 90s probably at this point. But I have to get this thing on the bike, set it up, tune it and everything. So this is it, guys. This is the final home stretch of finishing this project finally after months. So we're gonna try not to get a heat stroke challenge here, so let's get it. Alright, so we got the battery in. I don't know if you guys can see that, but it looks weird because there was just only one kind of way to kind of just secure it in there. I'm not too worried about finding a nicer way to set the battery, but all I know is that it's just firmly stuck in there because you got the bottom panel kind of just holding it in place. And it's not going to shoot forward because there's not really much room for it to wiggle up and down and everything. This thing is, like I said, it's like 20-pound battery. This thing is like, it's so heavy, it's not really going to go anywhere. But I'm going to tune it, and I can already tell it's working because I connected it and it's already turned on. And then I'll just have to lift the wheel up and have it calibrated, and then yeah, we'll see where we go from here. Alright guys, this is basically first ride impressions, finally, with the new battery. This is gonna be fucking sick, dude. Finally, fully riding this thing. Oh my god. You know, I never thought the day would come already. Now there is a thing I noticed, is my helmet mount for my phone is not holding up so well, so I'm gonna pray that my phone stays held in for this video. But yeet. And as you can tell, swap the pegs. It's fine. It's kind of new. It's kind of weird to get used to, honestly. But shit. So yeah, we're running about 60 to 65 volts, I think. Even though I kind of tuned it to 50 to 55, but it's pushing a little more than I would like it to, but I'm not using like the full potential of this thing. Let's go! Bike life! Oh, this thing moves, bro. 30 already? Holy shit. We do probably a little top speed test on this little straight right here. We're at pedal assist 4. 40. Oh my god. I'm going 40. That's 40 miles an hour on assist 4, dude. Are you kidding me? What happens if I go to 5? I'm just gonna ease in on the throttle. Woo! Oh my god. This thing's fucking amazing, dude. I think I hit 44 or 43, I don't know, I couldn't tell. I was trying to tuck in to get as much
the least drag resistance. But oh my god, guys. Are you kidding me? 40 miles an hour on the 4th assist. I don't even need to be in the 5th assist to even keep up with traffic. It's just that crazy. It's ridiculous. Oh my god. And then I forget why I love this thing. Oh, Bumble clutch. Bumble clutch. Just chilling. Oh my god, this is amazing, dude. I'm so glad I got this thing running, dude. Holy shit. Now obviously, I got the new battery on, and it's a 60 volt, 40 amp hours. You know, this is exactly what I told you guys I was going to get, because getting anything more than that is going to be more expensive, and I wasn't willing to put myself in generational debt building this thing. But finally got it tuned. I kind of did a few test runs on this thing before actually recording, because I knew it was going to be a lot of trial and error to get this controller used to the battery that I have installed. So, and in the first few test runs, when I tried to go full throttle, the battery and everything just completely cut out and turned off. And I'm assuming that's because of an over voltage or too much current drawing into the battery, because obviously I have the higher powered controller and the battery is not exactly right at the specifications it needs to be. So I had to tune it a few times, get a test run up and down the street. I kind of tried to ride it around. So when the whole thing was cutting off, I basically had to unplug everything and turn it off and turn it back on, just for it to reset the errors. So, but now that I've tuned it just to where it doesn't do that, honestly, it's a lot better now. It doesn't really cut off when I try to use full throttle, so that's good. But I still kind of like take care of this thing. I don't really go full throttle. I kind of just gradually build up on the throttle, because basically when it cuts off, when I use too much throttle and it draws way too much power, it's almost as if you're stalling the bike and you have to turn it off, turn it back on, basically. But no longer an issue. So we actually have a fully functional bike now. The one downside about the battery that I got is it doesn't tell you what battery percentage is on. So I kind of have to keep track of my the miles I put on this thing on a single charge, or else I'm gonna learn the hard way on when it's gonna die. So I have to be careful about that. But all I know is I definitely get more range than I'm used to. So I can definitely go more than 20 miles on a single charge. I just need to keep track of how much miles I put on this thing before it dies. Now I just want to take a moment and shout out to Ashton, the guy that actually bought this bike from. He has a raw Mantis now. After he sold this one, because he wanted to have a fully functional bike, but at the same time he wants the E-Motos, and I understand. And this might not be like the E-Moto he was expecting, because this bike stock just didn't have enough power or torque or anything. It didn't really have the specifications of a Talaria or a raw Mantis or Surron. So I give full credit to him for letting me have this bike. Otherwise it would not have been possible. So shout out to Ashton. But yeah, dude, I'm so thankful. You know, I don't know what I would be doing at this point in time if I didn't have the bike. I would honestly probably be like him and get the raw Mantis instead of building this. But you know, building this thing was, you know, you can customize it, you can build it however you want, exactly how you want it, and that's exactly kind of what I wanted, and it turned out great. So, you know, we get the best of both worlds. He gets his E-Moto, and I get to build my own, and you know, stand out. Guys, absolutely beautiful bike. It honestly looks great with the new battery, even though it looks like it's kind of hanging out from the frame, but fucking amazing. this is basically all I was doing for this this last build video, is getting the new battery, tuning it to the way it needs to be, and it's fully functional again. Now I don't have to worry about getting anything else for this bike other than taking care of it. Obviously, I'm going to be riding this almost every single day as much as I can. I just love this thing, dude. I'm so glad I bought this thing and built it. You know, this was like a highlight of my summer, honestly, because I never thought I'd own anything like this. So now this is almost a $3,000 bike that I just built by myself. But yeah, one last time, shout out to Ashton for letting me buy this bike from him a while back. And if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't even have this thing. And you guys definitely wouldn't get the content like this. But I'm going to go ahead and wrap it for today's video. But if you guys enjoyed the video, hit that like button if you guys want to see some more content. And we're going to come back to the channel, hit that subscribe button. And I will hopefully see you guys in the next video. Yeet.